But really, talking about Messi and being the best player in the tournament, that's just Messi tax, to be honest with you. Because we've had players who've played. We've had players who've played.
Did you see the pass he gave for the first goal?
Mbappe for one.
And who else? I said it is Mbappe and Messi.
Mbappe for one.
And then who?
Giroud for
another. Better than Messi.
Yasin Bono. Yasin Bono has been an excellent player for Morocco. It's very easy for you to underrate that as a goalkeeper. This goalkeeper has not conceded any direct goal from any other team in the World Cup so far. What has Messi done?
Okay,
how many
so
goals
I
has
feel
Messi
like those
scored?
are opinions,
What are you saying?
but I'll tell you guys the fact of this World Cup. Messi has scored 4 goals in this World Cup, has 2 assists. 2 of his goals have been, so there was the Mexico goal where that was essentially a knockout game for Argentina, he scored that goal. Then another knockout game, he scored that goal. Then this is another knockout game that's put up another man.
So this is another thing.
I'm just saying the facts. So the Qatar World Cup has claimed another big team, and this time it's a very big fish, a big goat to say so. Morocco have sent CR7 packing. It's done, the dream is over. How do you feel about that?
Nobody saw it coming, but then they have been a very good side, Morocco. And they're knocking Portugal out, and Ronaldo, it's a painful one for Cristiano Ronaldo and for Portugal because they dreamt and worked too hard of reaching to the World Cup final. At least everybody was at some point anticipating maybe this could be a Ronaldo, Messi finale, but it's not meant to be.
Him and Piers Morgan were dreaming of fantasies. That's what we don't even care about. So those are Yannis and stuff. Tell how fun, how's your guy, Ronaldo?
For the most part, I just feel like it was unfortunate for Portugal because they had a very good squad going into this tournament, and they had a very, very good preparation, and they also had a new dynamic to their game that was the fluency in attack for Portugal. But Morocco, Morocco's defense is something else. Their defensive play, and not just their defense as per their defenders, their defensive play as a team is something else. And the way it was able to neutralize Portugal's attack, I did not expect it. So that was actually really big.
Yeah, all those Moroccans, they all have that dog in them. Amrabat, Saiss. I said that they haven't considered a goal from an opposition player all tournament. Yep. They're still unbeaten. I think
the only goal they've considered in the tournament was an own goal.
Yeah, so them and Croatia are actually the only 2 sides unbeaten at the moment.
So at this point, if you want to score Morocco, beg them to score themselves.
Yeah, wow, that's definitely one of the stories of the tournament, and yeah, the world is watching Morocco, the first African country to reach a World Cup semi-final. Yeah, they're rolling out. That was one of the semi-final games, quarter-final games, but that wasn't the only upset. This World Cup is the World Cup that keeps on giving. Anything can happen, and Brazil went 2-2 with Croatia, and Croatia did a Croatia, and despite them how they do it, extra time and penalties.
Oh, like it was a very, very...
Who saw that comment?
Nobody saw it.
We should run back our prediction for that. I'm sure we both predicted Brazil to win this game.
I predicted Brazil to win. I predicted Brazil to win. And it's interesting because at the start of the tournament, and with some of the things that we saw, we predicted correctly when we said so many things will go against people's expectations in this. And it is looking like one of the unexpected teams is likely to win the tournament. Nobody expected Croatia to win this tournament. They will get into the finals. They are in the semi-finals. I believe they have enough to dispatch that Argentina team. Morocco themselves are in the semi-finals against France, who against a very, very good English defensive structure, they sort of, they faltered a little bit, France didn't go gung-ho against England in the quarterfinals. So against that Morocco defense, bro, you can't write it off. Morocco can defeat France, knock France out, and get into the final. So imagine seeing a Morocco-Croatia final, and another one of those unexpected incidences happens again.
So yeah, Brazil-Croatia definitely was an upset, but at the end of the day, Croatia, they were finalists in the last time. They had Luka Modric, so whilst it was an upset, there are people that you could have had as dark horses and you won't have been looked at too crazy for that. So yeah, in the semi-finals, so whilst they have been surprised, I think the one main surprise is Morocco. Everything else, like you could kind of see Croatia making it this far, and then Argentina and France, those were two of the top 3 favorites coming into the tournament. So whilst they've been upset, like quality does tend to show, and Morocco, they're not here. If you watch any of their matches, they don't even look like upsets. Like they look like they have a plan and they execute that plan week in, week out. Like I'm actually scared of Morocco as an Argentina fan. Like if they get to the final, then my just one of those, this is the dream and it's a fairy tale. World Cup, not FA Cup.
But really, talking about plans, it's important. This is a very, very interesting, point for African teams to take note of. I remember, and I saw a video that reminded me again of Sunday Olise talking about the Japan squad in 2014 and the Morocco squad in 2014. And he talked about how African teams, or especially the Moroccan team, can get, up to that quality that the Japan team showed in 2014. He talked about investments in, in grassroots football. He talked about proper development. He talked about a long-term plan for, for the squad. And he was like, he dares to say that Morocco team, if they have, all things working for them, like it worked for them, work for Japan, you would see Morocco going far. And that is exactly, it was like he saw it happening. Before, in 2014, there was a major investment in the Moroccan football, about £12 million by one of the big royal people in Morocco. That investment is what we're seeing the fruits of. Nigeria, take notes. Ghana, take notes.
I think it's not even just about the direct investment in football that makes this able to happen. So it's just like the general infrastructure in Morocco. Like Morocco, they have their own airline that works.
Yeah, football planning, like just plan.
It's working properly, like the traffic works well, the roads work well. They have a society that runs properly. So they have a case where most of the players that play for Morocco weren't born in Morocco. Like Hakimi is Spanish, he was born in Spain, played in Real Madrid most of his life. Ziyech could have played for France and all these other countries, but because Morocco is actually a country that you're proud to be from. It's a decent place to be. So in Morocco, being a functioning society, it's just a lot more appealing for these players in the diaspora to want to be from Morocco, to be intrigued about what's going on there. The culture is nice. Casablanca is a brilliant city to be from, and so forth. So yeah, African countries, it's more than investing directly in football. Invest in the whole country. Invest in, and that's probably going to take longer than we hope for, because I guess we can get to that rant another time, sure. Let's talk about the teams that left the tournament. So as you mentioned earlier, still in the tournament is Lionel Messi and his Argentina side after a feisty match versus Holland. And coming into that match, it was billed as one of the great intercontinental rivalries in football. Like this doesn't happen often, where two nations have played as many times as each other in big stages, World Cup finals, knockout games, and so forth. And it lived up to the billing. And did you guys watch that game? That was feisty as.
Yeah, like very, very.
I saw a side of Messi I hadn't seen before.
Interesting game. I mean, when it was 2-0, I wrote Netherlands. But then
this World Cup,
the moment Vega scored that 2-1, I was like, game on, game on. And exactly, big ups to Van Gaal. That's he's very good at tactically. He brought in Vegas for the area balls and all that. And it was very, very clever.
He just said, forget total football and all that passing. We're pumping the ball into the box, route one big centre, and they had Vegas and Luke De Jong on at the same time at the point. And that's crazy.
Very, very fantastic free kick. And they went on to
very clever free kick.
In the penalties, even though it's painful. I think they did well. The Netherlands did well. So I think it's very painful. And of course, Lionel Messi is the man again. He's the one that I think he's been the best player probably in this World Cup. He's been the best player in this World Cup.
I think he's a straight shooter
all game round. I think he's been the best player.
I think fair enough. I think it's a shooter between him and Mbappe. Whoever goes the furthest will win the best player in the tournament.
Wow,
it's a straight shooter.
Wow. That's just Messi tax. Like, because Messi. Okay, let me first talk about Argentina versus Netherlands game. I want to give massive props, like you said, to Louis van Gaal. He showed that he has tactical depth. He had a style of play. He saw it wasn't working. There were 2 goals down, and he switched. Do you get me? And that was something that he was berated for. The tactic that he was berated for at Manchester United, and the stubbornness in sticking with that tactic, right? But he sort of like pushed that tactic aside. Route one football, and he's played expansive football, pass, score, build up play. But he saw that he needed to, go back into that old bag. So he did it, and it was just really good. And interestingly, he was a player who had, a bad spell in England whilst Vegas. I think he played for Burnley. He did not, he didn't have a good time out in England. But that's what the World Cup is. You come on and you show yourself. I mean, like Ziyech is doing now. He's showing himself, even having had a bad season so far at Chelsea. But really talking about Messi and being the best player in the tournament, that's just Messi tax, to be honest with you. Because we've had players who have played. We've had players who've played.
Did you see the pass he gave for the first goal?
Mbappe for one.
And who else? I said it is Mbappe and Messi that
Mbappe for one.
And then who?
Giroud for
Giroud has not
another.
played better than Messi.
Yacine Bono.
How can
Yacine Bono has been
my
an
God.
excellent player for Morocco. It's very easy for you to underrate that as a goalkeeper. This goalkeeper has not conceded any direct goal from any other team in the World Cup so far. What has Messi done?
Okay,
How
so
many
I
goals
feel
has
like
Messi
those
scored?
are
What are you
opinions,
saying?
but I'll tell you guys the fact of this World Cup. Messi has scored 4 goals in this World Cup, has 2 assists. 2 of his goals have been, so there was the Mexico goal where that was essentially a knockout game for Argentina. He scored that goal. Then another knockout game, he scored that goal. Then this is another knockout game that he's put up another man.
So this is another thing.
I'm just saying the facts. He's put up.
And let me say some facts too.
When I finish saying mine,
Oh, yeah,
he
say
scored
the
4 goals, he has 2 assists and 3 man of the match awards. Does any player have more than that?
No.
Now
So,
let me give you some other
how many
facts. Right?
does
Let me give you some
Yacine
other
Bono have?
facts
How many
now.
does-
It's easy for you to conflate the essence of or the importance of scoring goals with the importance of keeping the team together and defending and making sure your team does not concede goals. Right? What Messi does not do for the Argentina squad and other players pick up the buck for him. Why are you not looking at all of those things? When
Because
Messi
of what
does
he's
not,
doing on the
when Messi does not add to the overall play of the team, why do people talk about that? When
How
Messi
can
does
he
not add to the overall defensive quality of the
Everything
team,
goes through Messi.
it's similar. Now, let me give you a direct comparison, right? Why don't you use the same yardstick to measure Ronaldo? In other games when he does not, he scores the
Shall I tell you
goal,
why?
but he
Shall I
does
tell
not
you
add to
why?
the defensive
No, okay,
aspect
I'll
of
tell you why I don't do that
But Messi gets a free run. But that's besides the point because we don't really
It's the
want to go
point
into
now,
too much.
it's the
We don't really
point.
want to go, because we don't have too much time. But really, talking that's Messi talks, and I would rather you be very, very objective,
No,
and not just
he's
Messi
the
talks.
best.
Like,
Everything happens through him, with him, and in him. With Argentina, it's through him.
It's clear as day.
Everything's through him.
They don't give Messi the ball and get out of the way. The
So
strategy
has
is-
Argentina been the best
strategy
in
is-
this tournament?
No, they haven't.
So why are you
But
saying Messi is
they
the
haven't
best
been-
player in the tournament? Because
Because-
everything goes through Messi.
Yes, because
France
that
has
is-
had better players than Messi in this tournament. Dead
won?
it. Morocco have had better players
It's not by
in this
shouting,
tournament
it's not by
than even
shouting,
Messi.
it's not by
Ziyech
shouting, it's not by
has
shouting.
balled
It's not by shot.
in
So
this
think about
tournament.
it. See, you're
Ziyech
saying
has
Messi
balled
is
in this
scoring
tournament.
goals, you're giving him the credit because he's scoring goals, but if it was just scoring goals, like not tapping them, okay, fair. But this guy is leading World Cup in chances created. He has 2 assists in the World Cup. Look at how the passes was giving Lautaro. As in, this guy is giving out Christmas gifts to his teammates. They're not popping, you're not blaming him.
And Christmas is not
like,
even
see
good.
what this guy. Look at
It's just dishing out
this guy
gifts.
been rolled like 5 assists in tournaments. Look at that game against Australia. This
just
guy's
have
picking
to
up the
accept
ball
that
from.
he's the best
He's doing
player.
things that
You're
this World
getting
Cup
a
no
bit too
player can do at
aggravated.
this
You're
World
getting a
Cup.
bit too
I must be
aggravated.
aggravated. How can
It
you
is really
compare-
not
how
by
can you compare
shouting,
to
if
Bono?
I'm being honest.
How
It's
can you
not by
compare to
shouting.
Bono?
It's not by shouting.
Please, you guys.
But there are players who have played way
Put
better.
Tele's hands
And my
on
my original comparison was not even Bono. I was just giving you an example. Mbappe has balled better than Messi. in this
Mbappe has
tournament.
just scored.
Eat your
scored.
word.
How many
Mbappe has
assists?
balled
He has just
way better than
scored,
Messi in this
bro.
tournament. So
Mbappe has just
dead the
scored.
conversation. Mbappe has
Alright,
balled
we'll see
way
at
better
the
than Messi in this
Federation.
conversation.
Moving
So
on.
that's
So
just what it
Messi,
is.
I see you still have some haters to win over, and that's what we're here now. That's what this last dance is about. When it's all said and done, we'll all be here now. We go. So there are other teams left in the tournament. I know the conversation got carried away by Messi as it tends to do. France are still in the tournament after I think that was the biggest game of the tournament, France versus England. I really felt like if England beat France, then they would have gone on to win the World Cup, but it doesn't go that way for them.
Yeah, they had their chance. They had their chances through the Hurricane. Normally, you rely on Hurricane to score in that critical moment, but then I wasn't even like, I said he was going to score, but then he just blazed it over. And Southgate, he has not been getting it right, to be very honest. I feel Rashford, Grealish, and Maddison should see more minutes. That was exactly the same mistake he made in the Euros. These guys, they are sharp players. I'm not saying Foden is not a sharp player or Saka, but then you are bringing in Rashford at 84th minute to do what? You are bringing in Grealish at 90th minute to do what? When he brought in Rashford, he saw the impact he made. He nearly scored the equalizer through a free kick. I think he should have seen more minutes. He is a senior player in that team. So I don't. It's up to him. I don't know.
In my opinion, it's very easy. It's very easy to be reactive. Having the result. As the result has gone against England. But the truth is, England outplayed France in that game. Still, right? So he did get his tactics right, setting up the team the way he set up the team, and the players also did have the ability to to get the result in that game. But it was just very unfortunate for England with Hurricane missing out on that penalty. But he did make substitution errors. Bringing in Mount at the time when he brought in Mount and bringing in Sterling as well at the time when he needed a game changer like Marcus Rashford, and he should have made that substitution earlier in the game, like in the 60-something minutes, because up until the 60-something minutes, Foden still did have a good game. Saka himself as well also had a good game,
and
overall. So he should have brought on, I would say, he should have brought on Rashford, and maybe also brought on Maddison for Henderson, right? And then maybe had Bellingham play the defensive. But it's easy to say, hindsight just gives you this, this broader perspective of things. But it was just unfortunate, honestly. If Harry Kane had scored that penalty, it would have been a different ballgame entirely.
Yeah, shame for Harry Kane to miss that. There was one player you would want in that situation, would probably be Harry Kane, but the occasion.
He did score one, and the one he scored, he dispatched it.
Yeah, but there was one player he wants because everyone talks about taking 2 penalties in one match. The mental mind game is completely different against same goalkeeper, and especially when it's a keeper that's been training with you for 10 years now. So, but the thing is, if there was still one player I want in that situation,
definitely
it's like Harry Kane or Cristiano Ronaldo. So yeah, it was a shame to see that fly over the bar. I'm happy it wasn't one of the brothers that missed the penalty this time, but you guys discuss that later. Still in the tournament, I guess we've spoken about Morocco and Croatia. These are, I guess, they'll be the underdogs coming into both their matches. Tele thinks there can be an upset in both games. What do you think?
I go with a final of Argentina versus France. So we just kind of end the debate. It's not really a debate, but people will feel, Mbappe is on that level, Messi level, the big game player, world-class level. But I think it's the game that is going to settle it. So I'm tipping France versus Argentina for the grand finale.
I think it's very interesting for me, the fact that it is not unlikely that we'd have a repeat of 2018's final with France and Morocco featuring in the finals, because I don't think it is impossible for France and Croatia, I beg your pardon, for Croatia to actually knock out Argentina. But of course, Argentina do have the Messi factor, and it is Messi at the end of the day. So with Croatia, they also know how to lock teams out, right? So that might play in their favor. But like I said, there is Messi. And Messi is king at unlocking defenses. And this is World Cup, so anything really can happen. So that's why I think it will be interesting to actually see a France and Croatia replay. And if I do see a France and Croatia replay in finals, I'm tipping Croatia to win the World Cup. Honestly.
I think it's going to be Argentina going to beat Croatia. Argentina just have that juice behind them. So this World Cup is being played in Argentina if you watch any of their matches. And it's pushing them on. And I think France might just have a bit too much from Morocco, man. As in, Abe, I'm sorry to hurt your feelings there, but I think they have too much from Morocco. Any game Mbappe is in, I just feel like, and even if it wasn't the difference versus England, but I back him. Like, cause it wasn't difference then, like based on the odds, like he's not going to go 2 quiet games. And Morocco have been the ones that are going to catch it. You guys should let us know your predictions for the semi-finals in the comment section below. And before we wrap up, we've got a question of the day. So we've got deeper into the tournament. I want to ask, checking again on what is you guys' moment of the tournament. Has it changed? Is it what you had earlier? What's your moment of the tournament?
Will Speed ever meet Ronaldo? I think that is one of the highlights of this tournament. Honestly, I don't know. I feel for Speed. He's been 3 games now, 2 in England and 1 now in Qatar, and he's not met his idol Ronaldo. So I don't know how and when he's going to see him, and I feel that I don't know. It's not football related, but I feel this is just my top moments of the World Cup so far.
Fair enough.
In my opinion, and it's just interesting that you mentioned Ronaldo. My moment of the World Cup. I mean, I've had many big moments, but there's, with this kind of question, there's the issue of like recency bias. My moment of the World Cup so far now will be seeing Ronaldo in tears after Portugal got knocked out. It was just such a moment for me. This is Ronaldo who I grew up watching. I was a fan from when he was at Manchester United, and it just really dawned on me. I've had a bad time with him recently, with the Piers Morgan interview, and I've really slammed him for his comments about Erik ten Hag. Maybe not his comments about Manchester United as a club and the way it is run, but his disrespect for Erik ten Hag, especially. I did have a conversation with people, around, and I berated him for that. and I sort of felt, angry at him, but seeing him shed tears in that moment, walking into the dressing room, it really looked like the end. I mean, I'd seen that it was the end already, but just those kinds of moments when you just really realize. Yeah. So yeah, that's the moment of the tournament for me. It was a very emotional moment.
Do you feel he could still go on to play another World Cup?
I do not think so.
Are you joking?
I do not think so.
I say that moment of the tournament.
I do not think so at all.
Ronaldo's. That was also my moment of the tournament. From Morocco knocking Portugal out was brilliant for me. To see Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, and Ronaldo, and João Cancelo. Wow. And bang. Oh no, that's not that guy. To see all those guys down in one day was quite satisfying for me. I guess in hindsight, I do get to see Ronaldo cry like that. I guess we haven't really seen him show that type of emotion since the days when he was like a youngster at like when Portugal would get knocked out. Or
it has always been upwards for him.
To see him, it just felt like seeing him fit to
that's like it's like rock meets bottom.
So like I was walking down that tunnel, right. After a match, Ronaldo, like you see him shoulders pumped up, players are feeling cheese, and like he was just walking that tunnel. Like the story was about Morocco, just like fading to black, and it's just like. That's life for you, like.
It was a
they're only going to love you whilst you're doing it, bro. So, and it's like, say bye-bye to Ronaldo at the big stage. Like, looking like he's probably not going to play Champions League again. He's not going to play big times again. So, that's the last big moment, whatever it was, it's probably the last big moment for Ronaldo. So, hats off to Ronaldo. It feels like a retirement, but it's not. I'm sure when he actually retires, we'll give him a fitting tribute. But,
true.
Yeah, that's the moment for me, what Morocco did.
Yeah, and I mean, I think huge credit to Peter Jury because he's doing a fantastic work as usual in this World Cup.
And speaking about Peter Jury, I'm sorry to cut you off there, but whilst we're on this topic, as we're entering the semi-finals now, the finals, places that they show football in Lagos, can you not put it on that Pigeon 2 or 3 channel? Right. Can we watch Peter Jury? Can I feel these moments the way the good people at FIFA intended me to?
But really, no. To be honest, guys. So has done a very good job. She has been a vibe throughout. But I feel like this is something.
It depends on what you want. I feel like Nigerians. I'm sure there's a market and there are a bunch of Nigerians that like enjoy it in the sense like when you go to a club and there's someone on the mic and it's just vibes. So you want to watch that. But when you're someone that actually wants to like hear the knowledge, hear the facts and all that, it's quite disappointing.
But so does drop facts too now. She does.
I don't want to hear about Davido or Buga when I'm watching the World Cup, man. I'm sorry. And it's not just music. I don't want to hear about it. Don't talk about Adele or Tele or Drake when I'm watching the World Cup. I don't want to hear that. Talk about Bambastin and Riquelme, oddballers.
And give us rhymes too. I mean, poetic,
Peter
Jury is a poet.
Look all these guys doing. Like, everybody says, I'm hanging on to the edge of it, man.
So huge credit to Peter Jury for always doing what he knows how to do best and coming up with the words and the whole pun and everything. Listen to him shout Lionel Messi like gives you goosebumps.
This is why I live.
Like he's such an amazing commentator, and I could listen to him read me a Kamano. Like he comes up his way of using the words.
It actually doesn't make sense because he does it like you can't prepare for these things because you see some of the craziest upsets that the script could not have written, and he has the lines,
and he has the words.
Like how do you have this off the top of your head? Like the man is a wizard.
Just like he said in that Portugal-Morocco game, drink it in Casablanca, relish it Rabat. This is your night. See it from atop the Atlas Mountains or above Marrakesh Express. A night Morocco will never forget. Incredible.
That's poetry. That's poetry right there.
So that's our World Cup recap up until the semi-final for you. Let us know your predictions in the comment section. Of course, it's getting serious now. Like
man, last 4.
It's getting serious.
Last 4.
So wait, before we wrap up, everyone just say off the top of your head, quick question: who's winning the World Cup? Who's winning the World Cup?
Who's winning the World Cup? I want to
quick
say,
one.
I want to say Morocco.
Who's winning the World Cup?
Argentina.
Let's go. All right, catch you guys later.